Everyone, it's Nick again from Bake Your Way Kitchen, and today I'm excited to share with you an original recipe here at Bake Your Way. It's a peanut butter Nanaimo bar, Nanaimo bar mousse, and it is quite delicious. And I'm going to first tell you about the ingredients, and then I will show you how to do it. So the first thing you're going to need is half a cup of unsalted butter at room temperature. You will also need 40 grams, about 1.5 cups of Rice Krispies that are finely ground, so you can put it in a food processor or bang it with, or bang it in a Ziploc bag. You will need 1 egg. You will also need 1 cup of shredded coconut that is unsweetened. If you can't find unsweetened, I know that some places only have the sweetened. It's not the end of the world, it'll just taste a bit sweeter. And you can adjust the sweetness with what we're also going to add, which is 3 to 4 tablespoons of sugar. I give the option because depending on what you use, if you use sweetened, unsweetened, you can make that determination. So 3 to 4 tablespoons, that's about 36 to 48 grams. You will also need a teaspoon of vanilla extract and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of coffee granules, the instant coffee. And the reason it's an optional part of the base for our Nanaimo bar, but it just brings out the chocolate flavor, which is the unsweetened cocoa powder, which we're going to add about 1/4 cup, which is about roughly 25 grams. So that's it for the base part. I'm going to go over the peanut butter topping after. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get a spatula, and in a mixing bowl you're going to want to add the butter and the sugar, and you're going to want to mix it until it's well combined. Now normally I would do this in my stand mixer, but I'm doing this while everyone upstairs is asleep, and so if I had this stand mixer on, they would come down and kill me for having it on. And anyways, you don't need to beat it long, you just want it to be nice, well incorporated and fluffy. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. So this is what it should look like. As you can see, it's pale in color, but it's still it's not too thick. You just stir it until it's combined well enough. Okay, so now we've got our butter and sugar. Next thing we're going to want to do is take our vanilla extract and our little bit of cocoa, or coffee I should say, and just mix it together. You can use a small spoon or fork. So we're mixing the coffee granules in with the extract. So that is the next step. So now what you're going to want to do is add 1 egg. And usually I recommend, I didn't do it this time, so don't follow what I just did. I usually crack the egg in a separate bowl in case you get a bad egg or something like that. And you're going to want to mix this in. And I'll show you what that looks like when we're there. So just till it's combined, as you can see, like that. Alright, so now we are going to add the rest of our ingredients. We are going to add our coffee granule vanilla mixture that we have in this little container. We are going to add our cocoa powder, the coconut, the Rice Krispie cereal, and we are going to mix this until combined. Now some of you might ask me, just while I'm mixing everything together, usually you use graham crackers in a Nanaimo bar base. However, I've determined that it is just simply, this dessert is so rich in itself that really it tastes just as good with the Rice Krispies, and it just cuts down a little bit on the sweetness, because let's face it, this is a very rich dessert, and so it's certainly something that you want. Like, if you can cut back and keep the flavor, would you do it? I would. So I will show you what our base looks like now. So this is the base right here. It doesn't look like a whole lot, I know. However, trust me, it does the trick. So now I'm going to place this. What we need to do now is preheat our oven to 350 degrees, or about 180 degrees Celsius, and we are going to need to put this chocolate base in an 8-inch square pan. If you don't have an 8-inch, a 9-inch would work. Just keep in mind that the baking time will be a little bit shorter, and as well it will be thinner. So I will show you what it looks like once I've put it in. I have put our cookie layer base into an 8-inch baking square pan, and I simply flattened it using an offset spatula, but you can use your fork or your hands, and just try to keep it as consistent as possible. So we're going to put this in this oven that has now fully preheated for 10 minutes. And just as a reminder, as that is happening, make sure it's on the center level. Now we will go on to the peanut butter filling. So what I have here is some milk that is heating up as we speak, and in the meantime we are going to start our peanut butter mousse topping. So we will need 2 teaspoons of gelatin, which I have dissolving in 2 tablespoons of water. I also have here 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 cup of milk, as you saw on the stove, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/3 cup, 80 grams of peanut butter. Those are the ingredients we will need to make our topping. So it's clear, it's pretty easy to do. So we got our bowl here, and we're going to need a whisk. As I mentioned, I'm doing this at night, so unfortunately I can't do this in the stand mixer. Our milk has almost, you can see, as soon as it starts to sizzle like that, you know it's done. You don't want to ever really boil milk, otherwise it will scorch. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our sugar with our, the one other ingredient we need, which I have kept in the fridge, our egg yolks. So I'm going to add in our egg yolks right here. And I apologize if this camera is a little bit shaky. I'm doing this one-handed job because I don't have a tripod. So I'm doing my best. So there you go. You just want it to combine, just like that. Now I'm going to get our milk mixture. Now this is where you got to be very careful, because the milk is very hot, and you want to put in the milk mixture without boiling, or without scrambling the eggs. So this process I will need to put down the camera because I do not have 3 hands, but basically what you're going to want to do is whisk constantly the egg mixture as you pour this hot milk into the bowl. Alright, so the mixture is now fully combined. I fully combined it, as you can see here. So now what we're going to need to do is put this back in our little small saucepan. And we are going to put this on the stove, just over here. I'll get this light on. Whoa, huh. So that you can see. And I just need to grab my whisk. And we are going to put this on low heat for about 10 minutes and stir constantly. And please ignore that annoying noise in the background. That is our silly gas. There we go. Looks like I need to go a little bit hotter in order not to get that noise. Oh, there, it's returned. So I'll show you what this looks like once it's done. In the meantime, though, our cookie base layer is now done. So I'm going to take it out of the oven. It has now been 10 minutes. And it has clearly set, which is what we're looking for. So I'm just going to place it back here. Now you're going to want to let that cool for about 20 minutes. I've taken our egg mixture off of the heat after 10 minutes, and it is just cooling down now. So what you're going to want to do now is pour it back into our bowl that we had earlier, like so. And to that we are going to add our gelatin that has been mixing in with the water, because it needs to. As you can see, it's really thickened. See this? See what it looks like right now? That's what we want. So that's going in there. As well, we are going to add some vanilla, and of course, one of the final ingredients to the gelatin mixture, which is peanut butter. So I'm just going to add that in, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's all incorporated. I mixed all the ingredients together, and this is what you get. It's a nice brown color, and oh my goodness, it smells amazing. However, we do need to wait a little more. This needs to go in the refrigerator for at least an hour. You're going to need to put the saran wrap directly onto the peanut butter surface, otherwise it will create a skin if you don't put it directly onto the peanut butter mixture that we have. I also have the chocolate base. I would recommend putting it in the fridge to avoid it drying out, and I just put a bit of saran over that. So I'm going to put this in the fridge